Kristina Williams ranks as one of, if not the top player in women's basketball program history. She is the only player in Lewis and Clark program history to rank in the top 5 in career points, rebounds, assists, and steals. Over the course of her 4 years, she led the team in scoring 4 times and was named to the Northwest Conference All-Conference team all 4 years. She was the second player in program history to be named the Northwest Conference Player of the Year and matched Lewis and Clark Hall of Famer Kathy Gibson by achieving the mark twice. After earning all-region honors as a sophomore and junior, Williams was named a first-team All-American by the WBCA and D3Hoops.com during her senior season. She led the conference in total points, points per game, and made free throws that season, while finishing in the top 5 in the Northwest Conference in rebounds, steals, blocks, and assists to turnover ratio. Over the course of her 4 seasons, the Pioneers went 87-25 and earned 3 trips to the NCAA tournament. After her career, Williams went on to return to Lewis and Clark as an assistant coach and then served as the women's basketball head coach for 3 years.
I'm back, sorry. This is what it is, the way it works out tonight. But before we start, I just want you to know I waited 14 years for this. And then I got one email that said I got 2 minutes, and another email that said I got 3. The maximum I could milk was 4, so I'm supposed to be somewhere between 2 and 4 after waiting for 14 years. So even though I don't really like to read, I'm going to try and read in the spirit of efficiency a little bit, because I think there are some important things to share with you guys. It's an honor to be here and have this opportunity to address everybody tonight. As I think we've learned by now, my name is Tim Whitesel, and I was a coach with the women's basketball team from 2004 to 2014. During that time, I had the privilege of being part of Kristina Williams' career. You've seen some of her stats and achievements. We went through the numbers, and because I like to be esoteric, people will appreciate this. These are what I would call the whats of the Hall of Fame career. And it'll make more sense here in a minute. Truly incredible and impressive, no doubt about it. I've heard many say that Kristina was the best that ever played at LC. Perhaps that's the highest praise that one can get, right? Sorry. While I don't have the ability to judge best ever in a relative sense, what I do feel like is I've spent over 20 years coaching, and I've been around some really good teams and some really good players. And what I can tell you without hesitation is that Kristina Williams was a great player. And I mean that in an absolute sense. It's not relative. You had to be there to really understand and appreciate her greatness. Since most of you weren't, but I was, I thought I'd share some of the hows and the whys of a Hall of Fame career. So Kristina came to LC as a very good player, and she was already quite accomplished. However, greatness has many aspects, one of which is continually striving to improve. So a few stories, bear with me. In her freshman year, Kristina experienced some challenges with fatigue and muscle tightness. These were significant enough that in several games we started using offense-defense substitutions with about 15 minutes left in the second half. So for those who don't know, this is kind of how it would go. Imagine we're at about 14:54 on the clock, 20-minute half. Horn blows, we're going to be on defense. We sub Kristina out. She comes over, gives some water, there's a trainer working on her muscles because they're tight. Fast forward, 3 horns later, horn blows, we're going to be on offense. We sub Kristina back in the game. She does her thing. This cycle continues and repeats for about 15 minutes. Usually reserved for people who are in foul trouble. When she came back, and this is the point here, I'm not just trying to make fun of Kristina. When she came back for her sophomore year, Kristina had turned conditioning and maybe even flexibility into a strength. Coming into her sophomore year, Kristina was best when she had the ball in her hands. But our team was best when we ran everything through the low post. The task at hand then was to find the best way to balance these things. So imagine, again, I'm trying to paint a picture for you. Margaret flashes from the high post to the low post. Kristina's got the ball. Whistle blows. Kristina, why didn't you throw the ball to Margaret? I didn't see her. Okay. We resume practice. Neva's open in the low post. Whistle blows. Kristina, why didn't you throw Neva the ball? I didn't think she was open. Fast forward about 90 seconds after practice resumes. Spence is open in the post. Whistle blows. Kristina, throw Spence the ball. So Kristina started to throw the ball inside. Sometimes she'd get it back. Sometimes she'd get it back in way better places than she had it to begin with. And she started to study the game more. She turned her passing and her mental side of the game into a strength. In her junior year, we discovered that Kristina didn't really excel if you made her dribble to the right. She was amazing at doing a lot of things, but if you made her dribble right, she didn't necessarily excel. Despite that, she was right-handed. It just wasn't her rhythm. So again, imagine this. Taylor Wang, who's in the audience, tremendous defender. We're in practice, she's guarding Kristina. Look at Taylor and say, hey, don't let her go left, make her go right. Kristina looks back and says, what are you talking about? I'm right-handed. Anyway, we spent many practices and many events forcing Kristina to have to dribble right to score. She turned scoring from dribbling the dribble attack to her right into a strength. Going into her senior year, you can see the progression. I'm getting closer. Going into her senior year, really the only way at that point to slow Kristina down was to use a small, quick defender and try and take away her outside game. The natural counter to this was for her to play inside. And she had spent her entire career, for the most part, facing the basket. Playing with her back to the basket wasn't really her comfort zone. However, she worked at it. She developed an exceptional low post game. And again, she turned playing inside into a strength. Imagine, I've got to pull out one more piece of imagery here. We're in a game, I'm sitting on the bench, you all know, I have my hand on my chin. And one of the men's coaches, wasn't Smith, but another one of the men's coaches comes up to play after us. And he taps me on the shoulder and leans over and says, why can't we get one of our guys to do that in low post? Referring to what Kristina had just done on the floor. These are some of the things the stats don't tell, but really serve to highlight Kristina's path to a Hall of Fame career. Finally, while she always had this drive for personal improvement and achievement, she also embraced the fact that to be the best she could be as an individual, as well as be part of the best team we could be collectively, we all needed each other. In summary, Kristina was an amazing player, competitor, and a winner. And with that, I would like to introduce to you Kristina Williams.
All right, well, this isn't part of my notes, but because it's kind of irrelevant. But last weekend I completed my first half Ironman, and as I was about to get to the edge of the dock to jump in to do the swim portion, the first portion of the Ironman, my heart just started racing like crazy, and adrenaline was up, and that's kind of how I feel right now. So bear with me. Let's go, Chris.
You got it.
First of all, I want to say thank you to Tim. You know, when I was told that I needed to have someone come up here and introduce me, you were the first person that came to mind as a person who had the biggest positive impact on my college basketball career. So thank you for all your kind words, and thank you. Before I get to all of my thank yous, Tim brought up George Fox, so I have to give a little bit more of this story because this is actually one of my favorite basketball memories that I have. So my junior year, which was actually the year before this team that now is inducted, so the 2011-2012 team, we won every game that entire season except for games against George Fox. So we had 4 losses that year, and all 4 were to George Fox. George Fox then went on to play in the national championship game, and their best player, who was the 6'4" center, tore her ACL 5 minutes into the national championship game, and they lost. So I would like to think that we were the second best team in the nation that year. That team to be inducted into the Hall of Fame at some point too. But during my senior year, the very first time our coach decided that it was a good idea for the schedule, and I've never seen this happen again, but to schedule our first conference game of the year against George Fox on New Year's Eve. So we literally played at 7 p.m. on New Year's Eve against George Fox, and we won that game. And it was like the biggest, celebration ever by this team, and that was just an amazing memory. So, yeah. Woo! All right, well, I have a few thank yous. First of all, I want to thank my family, and specifically my parents. My parents have supported me in so many ways throughout my life. Obviously, financially, it allowed me to be here, and even all of the basketball things that I did growing up. But I think what means more to me is how you guys supported me in my basketball career and just allowing me to kind of go through my career in the way that I wanted to, right? Whether that was in high school, thinking I wasn't going to play college basketball. Basketball was becoming a little bit stressful to me, and the whole recruiting process and what that was going to look like, and having to go to all the AAU tournaments and stuff was kind of getting to be a lot. And you guys supported me through that, saying, hey, this is your journey. You get to do what you want. And then when I was looking at colleges and all of that, you guys just always allowed it to be my decision and allowed me to approach the game in the way that, I wanted to. And I think that, I just really appreciate that. I also want to thank my brothers, Alex and Brandon, and my uncle Evan, specifically for all of the driveway basketball games we played throughout the years. We played countless games, and I know it sounds silly, but seriously, when I think back to those memories, I think that it really actually helped my competitive drive a ton, and even my ability to score. Scoring against those guys was tough, and I really think it helped my game, so I wanted to thank them. I secondly want to thank my team. I mean, what a cool experience to be here and be inducted as an individual, but also to be able to be, have my team here with me and have the team inducted. So I want to thank you guys for, just everything that, as we did as a team. No matter, a couple of the other people said it too, but no matter how good you are as an individual, it really doesn't matter if you're not part of the team, right? You're not going to win very many games. You're not going to win very many awards. And so, I'm so grateful that I was playing for such great teams. I mean, we pushed each other in practice like crazy, like Darren was mentioning. We literally got kicked out of practice because we were playing too hard or fouling each other too much specifically. Coach had enough, and she said, you guys are out of here. So, we always pushed each other. And more importantly, you guys were just my best friends through college. So I really, am grateful for that. I also want to thank the college as a whole. I mean, obviously, specifically the athletic department. There's a lot of people here, sitting in here, who, were here when I was playing. Petey, Jeremy, Tara, Sharon. I mean, more than that too. So I want to thank you guys all for supporting me. But I also want to thank the college as a whole. I mean, I came to the college as a very young, shy, impressionable 18-year-old. Those of you guys who knew me early on in my career, I'm kind of a different person now. So, I think this college really allowed me to kind of figure out who I was and allowed me to build up a lot of confidence and kind of figure out, how I was going to approach the next part of my life. So, I really always look back at my experience here as a really positive one. And, thank you. And then lastly, I really have always prided myself in, being humble. I always have thought as an athlete that is really important, no matter how good you are. But I didn't want to be up here and accept this induction without acknowledging the incredible amount of hard work that it took to receive the awards and to score the points and to get this induction as well. I mean, Tim kind of mentioned it, but that's just my personality even to this day. Is when there's something that I feel like I'm not very good at, or when there's something that I feel like I can achieve, is setting out a plan and figuring out a way to do it. And so, when I was coming into Lewis and Clark and made the decision to play college basketball, I said to myself, okay, are you ready to give it your all, right? And at the end of the day, the end of the 4-year career, if you feel like you've given it your all, then you'll be satisfied and you'll be happy, kind of no matter what happened on the scoreboard or no matter what awards were received or not. And I honestly, can say that I did that, whether it was the, running out on the track by myself, putting myself through time miles, all summer long, or finding pickup games here in town, or, just the countless hours in the gym shooting and putting myself through sprints and all of that. I really did put in the work. So, kind of just, I guess, wanted to pat myself on the back. Again, thank you, and Emily, I wanted to say congrats to you as well. Obviously, congrats to everyone, but what a cool experience. I mean, we you know, like you said, we share awards, like our senior career award. I thought that was always so awesome that we both were given that because we were both so deserving of it. And then to be here tonight getting inducted on the same night is really cool. So congrats to you. And thank you to everyone again.